So welcome. A fantastic welcome to you today. Thank you for those of you tuning in on LinkedIn today. This is also being live streamed out to YouTube. Welcome to our Lead Generation Masterclass series. As we gather today, let's just open our minds and hearts to the journey of growth that lies ahead. This is a space of learning, a space of reflection, and hopefully a space of transformation for your business. So welcome to the Lead Generation Masterclass series. I'm your host, Alex Smith, and over the next kind of 13 weeks, we started last week, we looked at what I call unleashing your B2B potential, which is very much laying down the foundations, the framework for a successful way to generate leads in the B2B space. So this masterclass series for this quarter is really focused on B2B sales coaches and consultants. If you're operating in that space, then this content is for you. It's been made from questioning lots of people in that industry, in that sector, in those job roles, and hopefully brings about some of the answers that you might be looking for. Week 2, that's this week, we're actually looking at decision maker dynamics, how to open those closed doors. So a very key session if you're maybe struggling with generating lots of leads for your consultancy, for your business. Then this is the key that's going to kind of unlock those closed doors and help you to kind of just really thrive and have a filled pipeline of people that are interested in what you've got to do. So last week we also tapped into something called the UVP, which is the unique value proposition. Do join us in the school community, which runs alongside this masterclass. It's a free learning platform operating on school.com. That's SKOOL.com. Go to /lead. I'll send you a link to that in a moment. A little bit about me. So I'm your host today. I'm your guide. My name's Alex Smith. Currently running a hybrid lead generation SaaS tool. Some people call it a LinkedIn automation tool. It's actually a sales enablement tool. It's a sales engagement tool that's going to help you to find more prospects using LinkedIn. And if you're keen to have a look at kind of the software tool that I provide, I welcome you to sit through this training, because we're going to dive into it a little bit towards the end of this training call. This session's around about 45 minutes. I'll be doing quite a bit of speaking to begin with, and then we're going to move into some kind of Q&A stuff for anyone that's tuning in online. So quite a bit of ground to cover today. I'm going to chat for around about probably about 25 minutes or so with what I've prepared in terms of helping you kind of get to those decision makers. So that tends to be the pain point that a lot of you guys are struggling with, is actually how do you get in front of these people. So my track record, scaled a successful e-commerce print business for the last 11 years. We scaled that to 500,000 for a very, very small team, really, just me and a few others. Then moved into digital marketing. So for 5 years, built up a web design agency providing WordPress websites and also SEO services. That business still goes. I've got around about 40 clients that I service from that business. And now my main focus has been generating leads for clients using LinkedIn. And what kind of got me into kind of lead generation is I was actually in a sales role, commission-only sales role for a national membership organisation in the UK. And I had a certain region, West Dorset, very rural, not much business, and I had to go around and generate my own pipeline, my own leads, and generate new members. And successfully managed to do that by leveraging LinkedIn. Obviously, COVID was a bit of a shake-up for that, because I was unable to go door knocking, I was unable to go cold calling, people weren't answering the phone. So LinkedIn kind of became the strategy, and I ended up managing that for a lot of other members in the organization, helping them. So I thought, there's got to be a business model here, and created Leadif. So there's a little bit about me. In terms of what we're looking for today, I'm going to guide you through the complexities of B2B growth. So today's focus is all about decision maker dynamics, how to open those closed doors. So we're going to teach you the art of engaging those decision makers to effectively skyrocket your conversion rate. That's the goal here. So to do that, there's three aspects to what we're doing. We've got understanding decision maker psychology. Now, I'm no doctor of psychology or anything like that. I've got no initials after my name. Just for transparency, I do use a little bit of GPT, and I think AI has been an amazing tool for kind of growing yourself, really. I'm learning so much from GPT and AI, and a lot of my content comes from that. I've read a few books and applied a few of these principles to my own businesses. So that's kind of in terms of where I'm coming at with this. We're also going to look at communication strategies. That's quite key in terms of opening these closed doors, and also how to leverage LinkedIn. Now, for the last kind of 3-4 years, a lot of my business has come as a result of building relationships on LinkedIn. So we'll explore that towards the end of the session. So three main parts of this session: understanding the decision maker psychology, communication strategies, and also how we can start to leverage LinkedIn. So let's dive in. I love to start these sessions with just a moment of reflection. As many of you know, you'll see on my LinkedIn profile, I'm a firm believer, I'm a Christian. So I like to underpin what I do, my values, everything I do. I try to deliver with excellence with my clients. And I hope that it reflects some of the, some of the key ethics that I believe in around, Christianity, around the belief in Jesus. So just wanted to pull out a little bit of a verse for you to share with you. So in the stillness, let's ponder on, our purpose today to unlock these doors with decision makers. This is a time for clarity, insight. We need to be aligning our values in our approach with what we do. So here's a verse that I've pulled out for today. It comes from the Bible book of Revelation. If you're interested in Revelation, it's kind of like sits right at the back end of the Bible, and it speaks about what's going to happen in the future. So this verse says, "Behold, I have set before you an open door which no one is able to shut." So just have a moment of reflection now for a minute on that verse. What does that mean to you? What does that speak to you? How can you think about your business and basically your decisions as you go forward? Your next conversation with someone, do you see it as an open door or is it a shut door? So here's a beautiful AI image generated based on a little question for you. So where have you seen God open a door for you, even when it seemed impossible? So I believe that, there's a God out there. He's got his best interests for us, for humanity. And, certainly in my life, I've seen him open some incredible doors, some relationships, some business partnerships that I would have never dreamed of, and I do attribute it to him. Quite amazingly, some amazing things have happened in my life. Some doors have really opened. A few doors have shut as well. But when things seem impossible, think about your life and previously what you've achieved so far. Do you see it as open doors? It'd be great to engage with you on LinkedIn. Feel free to join these future sessions and have a discussion. So we've actually got a place where we can kind of foster this discussion, and that's over in School. And School is at leadith.io/school. Head over to the website there. It's a completely free community that I'd love you to join, where we can discuss about generating leads. We can discuss about reaching these decision makers that we're all trying to get hold of. And share some strategies. I've shared quite a few on there. There's a video tutorial course on there that you might want to engage in and watch as well. So that's the School community. Just wanted to plug that one before we move on. But going back, today is all about decision maker dynamics. So firstly, it's crucial to really recognize that decision makers are primarily driven by the need to mitigate risk, and maximize value for their organizations. And this lens through which they view all potential engagements, including your services and the products that you might offer as maybe a business coach or consultant, is what we're going to drive into today. So let's have a think about some communication strategies and identify some key motives that might help. So what motivates a decision maker is what we're looking at here. So fundamentally, it's all about the impact on the bottom line, the efficiency of those processes, and the well-being of their team. And a lot of people are talking about well-being in teams, and I meet a lot of leadership coaches and team coaches and culture coaches. So they'll be getting this straight away. So when we start to approach a decision maker, our primary aim has got to be to clearly articulate how our services are going to align with those priorities that they've got. For instance, if you're prospecting maybe a new coaching program, it could be a flagship program that you're offering, we need to highlight not just the potential for improved team performance, but we also need to start to quantify how this could translate into faster project completion rates or enhanced sales figures for the organization. Secondly, we've got to think about building trust. A lot of LinkedIn is all about relationship building, and what we're doing is we're building trust with other people. Trust is the cornerstone of any relationship with a decision maker. If there's no trust there, then no business is going to happen. And that trust, people say, like any relationship, it takes a long time to kind of build that up, but can take just a moment, a fraction of a second to kind of bring that all back away. And people that are not trustworthy, they've lost that trust. It can take seconds to lose it. So building trust requires us to be consistent in our messaging. We need to be very reliable in the delivery of our products and services. And we need to show a deep understanding of our prospects' business challenges, and we need to get a real good grip on that. So we've got to show that we're not just a service provider, but we're actually a strategic partner, as opposed to just a business transactional thing. But we've got to be fully invested in their success, and that's what I strive for at Leadeth. I mean, it's all about supporting clients and making sure they're seeing a good return on investment. So communication is key. When communicating with decision makers, that clarity and conciseness are vital. They often will juggle multiple responsibilities. If you're in business, how you can be spinning so many different plates and wearing so many different hats. So being able to present your information succinctly, with clarity to that prospect is going to be really highly valued. And there's ways we can do that. We can use data, we can use case studies to support our points maybe, and make them super relevant and as compelling as possible. Fourthly, we need to understand their constraints. Remember, decision makers operate under different constraints. And that could be budget, it could be time, or it could just be some kind of organizational politics that are going on in the organization. But a significant part of kind of understanding their psychology is recognizing that those constraints and also presenting your solutions accordingly. For example, maybe I've had a client previously that they've obviously said budget is a tight issue, so maybe I need to start to demonstrate how investing in my consulting services or software could actually lead to significant cost savings in the long run. So I hope you get that. So where people are, they seem budget conscious or whatever, if you can prove how your solution is actually going to save them money, then that's a really great way in with that potential opportunity. We need to engage emotionally. I mean, I am hopeless at this one. People ask me, how are you feeling? Certainly, I get it from my wife quite a bit. What am I feeling? And feelings don't come that quickly to me, and naturally, it's a very hard thing to understand. So I'm pretty black and white. But when we start to understand, the decision-making process within a business context, it's often largely quite logical, but we must not underestimate the power of that emotional engagement. Decision makers are still human beings. There's always going to be a human being there. AI is not going to make all the decisions all the time, and certainly factors like trust, security, and personal rapport, that's going to play an essential role in the choices that they make. And our ability to really connect with them on this kind of human level, it's just going to be just as crucial and as all the logical stuff around your kind of proposals and systems and pricing. And I love the logical side, showing these are your inputs, this is the outputs. If you reach out to this many people on LinkedIn, this is the answer that you're going to get, and you're going to get this many new connections. It's a very kind of mathematical thing, but we need to kind of understand the psychology of those decision makers. It's not just knowing kind of what makes them tick, but it's about aligning your offerings with their goals, communicating that effectively, building a strong relationship that's going to be grounded in trust and mutual understanding. And then as long as you kind of keep those points in your mind as you kind of start to prepare some strategies for engaging with those decision makers, then you're kind of well on your way to opening doors that otherwise would be firmly closed. Another key part of reaching out to decision makers is how you communicate with them. So we need to be able to clearly explain the value that we offer. And that's going to help us to kind of get their attention from the start. And then we can go on to handle any objections and things like that in a professional way. So first up, crafting a compelling value proposition. We looked last week at how we can really create. You find you can't just kind of bang on about features of your service. Decision makers actually want to know how you can solve a problem that you're facing, or how you might help them to achieve their goals. So that value proposition really does need to be clear, concise, and it's got to highlight the real benefits that you can deliver for their business. So there's basically a bit of a formula that runs that I've started to use, and it looks a little bit like this. So what we have is the content. Who is the target customer? So what's it for? Okay, we've then got who needs your services, and what's the opportunity. And I'll show you an example of this for my own business. What's the that? What is the business that you're doing? What's it called? Put that in there, and that is whatever it is in whatever category it is. And I'll show you how in my example how this all works out. So who are we trying to target? Who are they? What's their need, or what's the opportunity as it presents? What is the offering? Is it a whatever that service might be? And what's the category, or industry that sits in? We've also got then for that, what's the key value? What is the deliverable that we're looking at? And then we've also got unlike. So what alternatives are there out there? And then we need to go into what your unique differentiator is. So those are the kind of key elements to this value proposition formula. And when we start to incorporate all of this in what we're doing, we can really start to see some great progress. Let's go on to my example. So I've applied this value proposition framework now to Leadeth, and it comes up with this big gobbledygook of information. But you can see who's it for. So it's for business coaches and consultants that are selling B2B services. So very clear in terms of the who's it for, the target market. Now the who, so the who is what's their pain point. So they constantly struggle to land meetings with decision makers to pitch their offerings. So that is the struggle. They're struggling to get these appointments. in the diary so they can showcase with decision makers what it is they're about. Okay, and then we've got the offering. So Leadith, the name of the offering, is a sales engagement platform. So that's what it is. Okay, and then we've got the that. And what does it do? So it equips you with proven strategies to open doors and connect. So that's what it's doing. It's helping to open those doors and get you connected with more people. And then the unlike, or what we called earlier, was the alternative. So unlike traditional sales training, so people might compare us to sales training as a way of doing more sales, improving conversion rate. We're actually, what's the differentiator? We're providing an AI-driven system that's going to help you to identify, engage, and convert your ideal clients at scale. So there we go. That is kind of what I call my value proposition for Leadith, and it's quite a lot of words there. So ideally, Donald Miller, in his kind of story brand approach, teaches how to maybe have a one-liner or a shortened approach. So if you're meeting someone and you wanted to pitch this, that's quite a lot of mouthful to remember. Certainly if your memory is anything like mine, I struggle to kind of remember all these sorts of things. So my shortened kind of one-liner version of this would probably say, Leadith is a sales engagement platform that helps business coaches and consultants consistently book meetings with decision makers through proven strategies and AI-driven system. So that kind of picks up on all those points in the framework really nicely and hopefully clearly. So hopefully you can start to see the value of utilizing something like the framework that I showed there. So that's the framework. Feel free to take a screenshot of that, the value proposition formula. Okay, we're going to move on. So next we need to grab the attention of that decision maker right from the very first contact. We need something. If your approach is going to be email marketing or LinkedIn DMs, we need a really punchy subject line, an engaging kind of opening line, which has got to be super clear and help be that next step in who we're prospecting to. We don't want to sell at people. I keep telling this to a lot of my clients. LinkedIn is not about selling. It's not about pitching. It's about kind of relationship building. We just want to be sparking their curiosity so they want to learn more. Once they've learned a little bit more, then they can come in and we can pitch them and we can get them on a demo call. But the initial thing is we don't want to sell to them. So many LinkedIn messages, if you go to your inbox and have a look at the last 10 messages, probably 80% of those messages are going to be sales pitches where people are just quite a bit blunt and going straight to the point. So it is relationship building, and that's how we need to see it. Another key thing is obviously you might get objections. So often a common objection, the one we looked at earlier, was I just haven't got budget, or we're sorted with a supplier today already. So it's down to us to stay calm, stay professional, and just start to ask questions to really understand what their real underlying concern might be. We've got to show that we can empathize, and then we need to be careful about how we then position our offering as the ideal solution. So think about that attention grabbing opening line, that go-to, what could you put there? And obviously if you're using AI, artificial intelligence, or ChatGPT, or the Anthropic one called Claude 4, they're all great platforms for helping you to do this. And you have to prompt them really well and say, this is the value proposition, this is the target market that I'm going after. Please, can you help me, craft out a 50-word message or something like that, and you'll get some really good gems back. Recently, I've created a brand new campaign for what we're doing at Leadith, and our email marketing campaign will consist of something like this. So we've got this hi first name, that's just a generic kind of welcome. You've got to personalize your content so they can see it's personalized. We're then actually generating AI personalized icebreakers. So we'll actually, basically the system will go out, look at their LinkedIn profile, see what they've been up to recently, and then that'll weave a bit of an icebreaker. So it will say, hi, such and such at whatever business name. I noticed your recent report on XYZ. and it really fits in line with whatever's trending in the industry. So it'll be something very pertinent to that person, really personalized. Now, obviously, if you're doing AI at scale, you're doing that sort of level of personalization at scale, you might be thinking, how can I do that? I want to have control over it. I want to have all the input over that. So we can actually do that by using a system like the Leadif system. That'll actually do it all for us. So it'll go out and push out 100 of these emails, super duper personalized for us, which is the power of scaling. So for my attention grabbing opening line, I would put something like this: as a successful business coach or consultant. So that's the who, the key to growing your business is consistently connecting with more decision makers. So I'm kind of telling them what the problem is, just reaffirming it. But getting those meetings booked is a constant struggle, right? So I'm playing with the emotions, tuning into that pain, hopefully with them. And then I go in with this, what I call the clear next step. So the attention grabbing headline, and then we have the clear next step is the next bit. That's why I'd love to show you Leadif, AI-powered sales engagement platform that's easy, makes it easy to identify your ideal prospects, cut through the noise with personalized outreach, and consistently book meetings with decision makers that you need to pitch to. So I then kind of have this, what I call a soft call to action, a very soft call to action. And that is, can I send you a quick 5-minute video overview that explains exactly how it works? Just reply with send it, and I'll get that over to you. And then I'll probably sign off. Now, the opening line, obviously, we're grabbing the attention because we've got the key challenges that they face, constantly connecting with decision makers to grow their business. They're going to hopefully resonate with that. And then the clear next step to send the short video, that just explains to Leadif. I'd email back to them with a link to a VSL or a video landing page, which talks about how Leadif can solve the problem for them. And then hopefully they're problem aware. So when they get that video, they are kind of on the same page with me. Offering the 5-minute video is a very low commitment. We're not asking them to sign up to a 1-hour discovery call or anything like that. It's kind of like a real soft approach. And I think these are seeing more and more of these people use these in their campaigns. It just makes it a really super easy next step for prospects to say, just yes, yeah, okay. Allows them to kind of move further down that sales funnel. So I hope you found that useful. That's my current campaign, which I'm just about to launch actually, and push that out to lots of people on email as well. So if you get it, you'll know what it's all about and the theory behind it. So initiating prospect contact effectively. Just a few tips here about some of the things that you might need to consider about when you're outreaching to people, and then we're going to dive into some LinkedIn stuff. But research and personalization is the key. So one of the most important things that you can do is to research your prospect and their business beforehand. So ideally, you need to really understand the specific situation and the challenges and any goals that they've got. That allows you to then personalize your outreach to really show them that you get them, that you understand the context and their pain points. If you're sending just generic one-size-fits-all copy and paste messages these days, it's just not going to cut through. The personalized outreach is obviously going to be far more effective, but the challenge is how can we do that at scale? And that's where systems like Leadif will really help you. Personalized outreach, far more effective, grabbing their attention and starting up those meaningful conversations. And we see it time and time again. We start to go in deep with that personalization, we get a better conversion rate on all our campaigns. Think about the different channels. So leveraging multiple different channels. You've got lots of places you can go to. So you can go to email if you've got hold of their email address. LinkedIn is just a powerhouse for B2B data and contact data. Often you get email addresses on there, phone numbers on there as well. So I really highly recommend using a multi-channel approach. A lot of clients come to me saying, can we just run a LinkedIn only campaign? There's nothing stopping you doing that. You can do, but you're losing out potentially on a lot of touch points. We can be reaching out to them on LinkedIn, follow up with a beautiful warm email to them. So, hey, just connected on LinkedIn, just thought I'd reach out to you with a warm email. And then Here's the showstopper. The showstopper is put a personal phone call into them, or you could do a voice drop through LinkedIn. So whatever's easiest for your workflow. But when we start to put in those personal touches and those phone calls, we do see, the number of sales conversions goes out the roof by like 10 times if you put in that phone call stage. So it's hard work to get the diligence to put time in your calendar to put that phone call stage in, but it really does work. So we need to hit the prospect from lots of multiple different angles for a real huge, massive impact. Create that attention-grabbing message. We've just looked at, subject lines, opening lines. These are going to be absolutely crucial because that's going to be what's going to determine if they actually open and read your message or whether it just gets ignored. So you really need to think about how you can grab their attention, pique that kind of curiosity in them using those really effective subject lines. What's worked really well for me is simple 2-word subject lines. Someone sent me one and it just said, interested, question mark, question mark, question mark. Great subject line, because people don't have no idea what it could be about. They've got to open it and read into it a little bit more, or pop a first name. So strategic partnership with company name or something like that. So you could start to spell it out a little bit if you wanted to. But it's all about, piquing their interest about something like a key challenge that they're facing is always quite good. And then obviously in the body of that email, keep it super clear, keep it concise, make it just about them, not pitching your services right off the bat. Offer some initial value through super duper helpful insights, or it could be resources, industry related resources that are going to speak into their pain points. This is really going to help build that trust and credibility. It's all about adding value up front as well. So we need to provide fantastic value somehow. So don't just go straight into it asking for that meeting or consultation. How can you offer value first to show what you can bring to the table? Share some helpful information. Think about different resources, advice relating to the challenges they're facing. That is really going to help you to kind of build that trust, build the credibility, and then transition nicely into maybe a sales pitch or demo call. Finally, just think about that next step, that call to action. It's no good sending any marketing out there or any message out there if there's no actual call to action. It's just pointless. Make it clear. What is the end of your outreach? What do you want people to do? Is there a low commitment call to action next step that you want them to take? So it could be just maybe booking a quick 15-minute call to explore things further, or maybe just watching a short video overview of how you might be able to help them, or simply replying with some other questions that they might have. So make it a super easy micro commitment just to keep them moving through your sales funnel. And then hopefully one thing will lead on to the next, and bang, then you've got them as a paying client. Okay, this is a mammoth session today, isn't it? So no matter how effective your outreach and messaging is, you're always going to face objections. And that could be when trying to book a meeting with a decision maker. You might have things like, we don't have budget for that right now, or we're already working with another supplier. Often I get that one. I'm all sorted for my LinkedIn lead gen. They'll just cut you off. The key is how we go about responding to these objections. Now you can get defensive and try to kind of just bulldoze your way past them, or you've got the other side is you can actually sit back and listen, ask really thoughtful questions to really try and understand what the real root of their concern is, and that's going to help you to kind of reposition maybe your offering as the ideal solution. So here are some top tips which I've put together to kind of help you overcome some of those objection handling strategies. Listen, ask questions. Okay, show empathy for their situation. That's a great one. Think about how you can maybe reframe the objection. So asking it in a different way. Provide social proof and success stories. So if you've got some industry case study or something like that, that's really going to be pertinent to that specific prospect. Get that across to them and say, we actually did this with this client who had a very similar situation to you. What are your thoughts? Recap the value that you can deliver to them, just to make sure that they've got that super clearly. get a micro commitment for the next step. Even if they say, maybe in a week's time or whatever, let's get that commitment and follow through with it. For example, if they ever say, I don't have a budget, we need to be asking questions about their current situation, what their frustrations are, what their current goals are. And that really shows that we understand where they're coming from. And then we can kind of reframe by positioning what we have to offer as an affordable investment that's going to help them to achieve their goals and key objectives. Or if they maybe mention an existing supplier or an existing bit of software that they're using, think about asking, about their pain points that they still face, and if you can provide that social proof that you've helped others in that same situation that they are, or using a similar tool and that was the problem that they were facing, it becomes a no-brainer for them. It helps us to really focus the conversation on your unique value and the differentiation that you're bringing to the table. So the bottom line is, you've got to handle these objections with empathy, not confrontation. We need to listen, provide real proof and success stories, and then continue to guide them towards this next logical step, whatever that might be. When we start to take this constructive approach in terms of dealing with these objections, we start to kind of really overcome some amazing hurdles, and that will help us to keep that momentum, keep driving towards more booked calls with the decision makers that you want to reach. Just coming to land now. So these days, LinkedIn, as you know, is it's absolutely vital channel for you to be connecting with decision makers and also boosting your sales outreach. So I just wanted to quickly walk you through some of the key strategies that I'm seeing a lot of clients use and what we adopt here at Leadith in terms of their marketing strategy with LinkedIn. First thing, which a lot of people neglect this little exercise, but we need to optimize your profile. And this is a crucial step because it helps us. I mean, your LinkedIn profile, imagine it as your virtual storefront. It's the first impression that your prospects will see. You've got to make sure your headline and summary is really succinct. It conveys the value that you provide, and also that you use a professional headshot. So many people just have very unprofessional headshots. If you're going to potentially be doing business with this prospect and you are showing up at their office in person to shake their hand and look them in the eye, what would you be wearing? And is that reflective of who you are and how you do business? It's a very important thing, and you've got to get this right. So we need to populate the experience and skills on that profile to really help us and position us as an authority in this space. Beyond just optimizing the profile, you might need to think about how you can proactively start to engage on LinkedIn as well. So many people just have the profile and that's it, they'll leave it. We need to be liking and commenting on updates from our ideal prospects and their companies. And that's very much what Leadith is all about. It's all about having a strategy that's going to reach out and connect to those people whilst you're busy doing whatever you do. It will like 3 of their posts and it will look at their profile. And this is all happening on autopilot in the background, warming up leads so that you're ready to just come in and step into the conversation. And that's very much how Leadith works. Obviously, if you've got these generic, templated messages, they might just get ignored or marked in spam. So think about how you can be a bit more unique, referencing to something specific about their role, their company, or current situation. Maybe ask them an insightful question to start that two-way conversation. Consider how you can leverage LinkedIn's different kind of messaging options. Obviously, we've got InMails. InMail is a great way to kind of break through the noise initially, and then you can move into regular DMs on LinkedIn. LinkedIn InMails is basically an email through the LinkedIn platform. It's you get 50 free with Sales Navigator and a handful with premium accounts. I don't tend to use them too much, but it's another multi-channel approach, which is what we spoke about earlier. So be sure to have that clear, low commitment call to action in your LinkedIn outreach. Remember, don't just pitch your services out of the blue. Offer to share something that's going to be super relevant. These insights are really going to help you to kind of propose maybe a quick call to explore how you might be able to help them further beyond that initial connection. But the key to LinkedIn is being proactive. You've got to provide value when taking a warm conversational approach. That's the kind of the slant that we want to be having, not just blasting people with cold sales DM pitches. Okay, it just doesn't work. Been there, tried it. I hope you found this super useful. That's the presentation side complete today. I'm just going to offer out, if this has been of value to you, then I actually provide a one-to-one LinkedIn lead generation discovery strategy call with my colleague Bush, who's actually based in Kenya. He sits those calls. If that is of interest to you and you want to learn a little bit more, obviously we've got the free community which you can be a part of. That's over at leadith.io/school, SKOOL. But if you head over to the Leadith website, you'll come across to something that looks a little bit like this. I'm just going to share my screen. There we are. This is the Leadith website. If you scroll down the website, you'll learn a little bit more about Leadith, what we're about, and some of the people we work with. There is a learn section there which you can click on. That will take you to our masterclass series, which are these sessions. It will give you a full itinerary of what each week is. So we're currently week 2. Link to the Leadith School, and under, where are we? Yeah, big orange button, you can't miss it at the top. Book a free discovery consultation. So click that link, and that will then take you to discovery consultation calendar. We've currently got a little bit of availability this week. We've got a few sessions left for Thursday and a few sessions for Friday. So if you want to snap those up, head over to leadith.io/discovery. And that will take you to this calendar where you can book in that session. So those are one-to-one sessions where we kind of analyze your current lead gen efforts, identify maybe any pain points that you're experiencing currently as a business. We want to give you some really useful, powerful outreach strategies that you can use. So yeah, it would just give you a bit of a flavor for what we're doing at Leadith. So I would love it if you hopped on to one of those calls with my colleague Bush, who's based in Kenya. So yeah, that's everything from me this week. If you head over to leadith.io/masterclass, that's where we have the sign up for this masterclass series. And on the website here, you can see we're currently at week 2. Next week, we're looking at from contacts to contracts. Bit of a tongue twister there. The lead conversion formula. So we're going to learn about mastering the art, the techniques to convert those qualified leads into really loyal clients using our proven conversion strategies. So ways that we've done it ourselves. We just share some of that with you. So if you're interested in that, if you're in kind of the B2B space, if you're a coach or consultant, this is all about adding value to you guys and hopefully helping you to scale and get some more clients. It's been a pleasure to be here with you today. Thank you for listening to me jabber on for the last 45 minutes. Hopefully you found some really good value here. Do engage with me. Feel free to kind of reach out to me on LinkedIn. If you want to connect with me LinkedIn, you will need my email address. Unfortunately, I don't have strangers allowing me to connect with them. You do need to know my email address, and I'll give you that. It's alex@leadith.io. Type in that email address, and then you can connect with me via LinkedIn. Really looking forward to the session next week, where we learn a little bit more about this whole journey that we're taking people on with LinkedIn. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, and I'm